Hello and welcome to episode 281 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with the socials.
Um, yeah, sorry, my mind went a bit blank then. We are the Wall 77 Club on Facebook is the one, and it's the main one. We don't use Instagram, so unfollow that. And we're on X, Twitter at 77 Club Podcast, where you can see Sam shaking Cunha's hand if you have a look.
And you'll see Bayliss drunkenly tweeting, posting. So apologies for that. He's not here to defend himself, so he's obviously run away. Jack Williams is here.
Hello.
Well, Harry, the big question on everybody's lips is: did you back it 4-1?
I did, of course I did. 100 to 1. I also backed 3-1 Wolves. So I had £3 on 3-1 Wolves at 33 to 1, and I had £2 on 4-1 Wolves at 100 to 1. So when Guedes scored, I was doing cartwheels, I must admit. And I'll be honest though, I know we're going to get into it, but I never, ever, ever in a million years think we'd thought we'd win that game 4-1, especially when the lineup come out. But that's the biggest odds, apart from Chelsea. Remember we beat Chelsea 4-2? It was 100 to 1 that day, but obviously I lost the bet because Chelsea got the second. But that is officially the biggest odds it's ever been when I've won that bet, which is crazy when you think about it.
Incredible. It had to come in. I mean, I don't think anybody expected that result, but Jack, 2 wins in 2, unbeaten in 4.
Yeah, like have we turned a corner? Like maybe it's one of those where it's just, you know how it works with football fans and how stuff can change so quickly. Then suddenly I'm looking at the table and find myself like thinking, yeah, I think we're going to go on a bit of a run here until Christmas. You know, I think we'll be comfortably mid-table, but we'll all come crashing down back to earth next week, probably when Bournemouth beat us. But, you know, it was a great performance, wasn't it? And I really didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming before the game. I didn't see it coming even more when I saw the team. And I didn't see it coming even more after watching the first half an hour and going 1-0 down. I thought it was going to be exactly the same as everything that we've seen, you know, already this season. But, you know, fair play to the lads because they put in, you know, a hell of a performance, really. And to go away from home and score 4 goals in the Premier League against anybody is impressive. But, you know, to do it against a team that's had such a great start when we've had such a poor start, I was thoroughly impressed. There were some, you know, great performances throughout up and down the pitch, particularly when players were having to sort of chip in and play in places that they weren't usually just because of injuries and squad depth. So, yeah, you know, fantastic. And, you know, you got to slagged him off all the season, but, you know, you got to give O'Neill a bit of credit, haven't you?
Jack, our match day was experienced with probably at both two ends of the same spectrum. I want to start with the away end because it sounded from where we were directly behind the dugout extremely loud. It sounded fun. How was it as an away day, and how does it rank among some of the best?
It was loud. It was fun. I think I said to you guys afterwards that it's one of the best away ends that I've been in for a while, to be honest. I mean, obviously going away from home and winning always helps, but it's everyone who's been to Fulham knows it's a bit of a it's a nice ground, it's a nice location. It's a bit of a strange one though because there isn't a massive amount of atmosphere from the home fans, so really the away fans can take it over, you know, quite easily, really. And I think that's what happened because, you know, we stayed on and we you know, even when we went behind, you know, it wasn't too bad, and getting back in the game so quickly then just really lifted us and lifted everybody. And yeah, singing pretty much constantly. Everyone was obviously everywhere when we scored. It was brilliant. But, you know, particularly I think the Gomez goal to go 2-1 up, that's when, you know, it's just like, hang on, we've turned it around here and everyone gets on it. But yeah, they were yeah, it was again, yeah, one of the best away ends I've been in for quite some time.
Bayliss and I were behind the dugout, so I mean, pretty much as close to the players as you could get. But even around us, there were Wolves fans. Even like there was a little kid's first game. You know, he's buried in the home end. But I don't, you know, Fulham is such a strange club. It is, as we all know, one of the poshest football clubs I think I've ever been to, and that is just the way that everybody is around you. Well, obviously the beer was flowing and stuff, and it was actually a really weird stand because it's a new stand, so you're sort of in the basement. It's very dark, so I look good looking for the day because no one can see properly. And then you sort of like walk up these steps, you think, oh God, where are we going here? And then all of a sudden the pitch appears, and they're fantastic seats. And the one thing I would say about being that close to the pitch, I don't think I've ever watched a football match from that angle before. And I was surprised at how big the players are, especially our players, when you're used to obviously, sit behind the goal quite far back or whatever. Size of Lamina, and you're like, actually, it makes complete sense, Harry, that he's playing at centre back, and obviously, I got to fanboy. I was quite embarrassing, really, over Cunha because I have very long monkey arms. So I was sort of just leaning over, and I was like trying to fist pump him. He fist pumped me back. We were shaking hands. I was telling him I love him. It was embarrassing for everybody. Bayliss managed to grab the picture. It will live long in the memory, that one. I don't know if Cunha looks happy or petrified. We'll never really know.
He just looked tired.
He was, yeah. I mean, to be fair, he just played like how many minutes he just played, and I looked more knackered than he did. But yeah, I mean, he didn't get off to a great start because I think it started to spit with rain and stuff. And Bayliss just shouted to Matt Doherty, "It's like being in Dublin, isn't it, Matt?" And he just gave him absolutely nothing back apart from cheers, mate, thank you, and then ignored him for the rest of the game. So who can blame him? But Harry, what was it like from your angle?
Well, just before we get onto the game and that, my phone lit up a little bit, Sam, because I didn't see it. I was watching it on a stream. But obviously, when the full-time whistle went, the camera panned on Cunha, and he was shaking your hand and shaking Bayliss's hand. So my dad messaged me straight away. A few people who listen to the podcast messaged me going, "Is that Sam and Bayliss shaking Cunha's hand?" I was like, "Yeah, long story, but Bayliss and his, high-end collections got him in some good seats, and it just made me laugh. But I missed it at the time. But I've seen the pictures back, and obviously I saw the picture Bayliss put through. But Sam, I mean, you shook the legends, and he was on fire, weren't he, on the day? But going back to the beginning, the starting lineup, you mentioned Lamina. I didn't know what to expect because Toti Gomez was the only recognised centre half, even though O'Neill said something about him being our first choice left back, something bizarre. I can't remember what he said. But yeah, so when the team come out, my prediction was that we were still going to go 3 centre halves, but it'd be Semedo right centre back, Lamina in the middle, and Toti Gomez left centre back with Rodrigo Gomez or Bellegarde right wing back. But he went with a 4, and it worked. You've got in a circumstance like that where it's desperation, you've got to give O'Neill credit for the lineup he selected because it did work. And we've accidentally stumbled on a great lineup because Lamina was fantastic at centre half, didn't put a foot wrong. An amazing assist for the first goal. And I thought Gomez and Andre, I was so glad Andre was back in the team because he was fantastic before he got dropped. One of our best players, I thought. So I'm so glad he was in. And him and Gomez together were unbelievable. And also, I was very happy for Rodrigo Gomez because apart from starting away at Arsenal, he's hardly had a look in. And particularly second half, I thought he had a great game. So yeah, when you see that lineup, I mean, I might as well have threw my money down the drain. That's what I thought when I put the 4-1 bet on. But the fact we actually got it, and look, their goal was a big mistake from Aït-Nouri and Rodrigo Gomez, really. And I know Raul Jimenez smashed one off the bar, and probably go to Jack in a bit because it was a great moment, weren't there, when they sang the Raul Jimenez song when he went off as sub. But yeah, the first goal, Lamina. I mean, let's highlight him a lot. I know it's going to be a Cunha loving. Unbelievable pass and an assist, and what a goal. And yeah, performance was way better than I expected. I think we've stumbled on a new formation and a new player being at centre half in Lamina.
Well, I just want to bring it, like you put in the group, Harry, we've accidentally found the next Rio Ferdinand. It was 100% of ground duels won, 75 touches, 10 ball recoveries, 7 clearances, 2 key passes and an assist. I mean, Jack, that just sums him up, doesn't it? I mean, he had a fantastic day at the office, and we've sort of given him a little bit of stick and how maybe the captaincy was taking its toll, or maybe he wasn't really hitting his best form, but he really was back to being the player that we know and love.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that I said on this podcast earlier in the season he wasn't tall enough to play centre half. So I don't know why he listens to us.
I can confirm he's massive.
I don't know why he listened to us because we don't know anything. But yeah, he just slotted in really well. And obviously that pass for the first one, I know Cunha takes it incredibly, but that was brilliant as well, wasn't it? So it's a good all round performance when it's just looking a bit shaky on paper. But yeah, the question is then, what do you do if next week Dawson and Santi Bueno come back fit after something's gone so well? What do you do? I wouldn't be against playing a 4 again, at home to Bournemouth. I think a lot of people would. So it's an interesting headache to have in it. But yeah, very, very accomplished by Lamina, who has been a bit patchy this season. I think we can all agree it's not been brilliant, but probably his best performance of the season by some, and he wasn't even playing in his own position. But
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. But Harry, I mean, we didn't notice at the time, and Jack didn't notice until he watched Match of the Day, is that they finished the game with 10 men, obviously. I mean, it does help when it's 2-1 and you've got 10 minutes playing against 10 men.
Yeah, it was on about the 80th minute, wasn't it? But even at 2-1, I thought we were the better team. Yes, Fulham, first half an hour, we were a bit shaky. Go 1-0 down, and then we respond brilliantly, obviously, with that great goal we just discussed. Second half, we were the much better team. I think we would have gone on and got another, even if they had 11 men on the pitch, the way the game was going. They hit the bar, didn't they, from Wilson, and I think Ait-Nouri put one just wide of his own post that was nearly an own goal. But apart from that, we limited them quite well. Like, Lamina was fantastic. Toti Gomez was fantastic. I'll give him a lot of stick, but he had a great game. And yeah, we were breaking so well on them as well. And it took a bit of magic to get the third. I mean, Cunha's goal, unbelievable, wasn't it? Unbelievable finish into the top right-hand corner. Gomez as well, his second goal, great assist from Cunha. Those two on the day were fantastic together. But yeah, and obviously the fourth was a bit of they'd give up Fulham at that point, hadn't they? But I get what you mean. They used all their subs, so probably poor or naive management from their manager. If O'Neill did that, we'd go absolutely nuts if he had made too many subs and we had someone go down injured. But I think concentrating on that is a bit harsh towards Wolves, because I still think we would have gone on to at least get the third, even if they'd have had 11 men on the pitch, because I just think we were the much better team second half. But it certainly did help, and I'm not going to complain because it ended up getting my 4-1, them having 10 men.
I think I'm just concerned with the fact that I didn't notice. Like Sam and I both went out the night before and then carried on drinking. But I was sort of thinking, oh, bloody hell, we're battering them here last 10 minutes. It's like we've got, every time we attack, we've got 2 men over. And I'm like thinking, I didn't realise that's why. But
it was quite funny though. I mean, I did feel it, obviously. You think you put your house on Raul scoring from there, Harry, as you said, very, very early on that first half. And later on, obviously, you got the Adama Traore effect, and I'm sat there going, "Oh my God, what's going to happen here?" And thankfully, it was the Adama Traore that's frustrated us for about 5 years off the back of who came on, which was fantastic to see, because he is like a Ferrari with no brakes.
Yeah, he didn't. He had a little bit of a go, didn't he, when he come on, but he didn't do much at all, really. Raul had a bit of an off day, but I think you could put that down to Toti Gomez and Lamina having a good game. Should have scored that one. My life. That's a miss of the season, isn't it, to hit the bar from that close. But while we're on the subject, Jack, you were there as well, Sam. I was watching it on a stream. The bloody noise when he went off a sub, the song Si Senor. I don't know if you can remember it, and I've seen Raul Jimenez's missus put an Instagram post on as well saying thank yous. I thought that was a really good touch. How many fan bases would do that for an ex-player like that?
Yeah, it's a nice touch. As always with the Wolves crowd, I don't think everybody was on board with it. I think the majority of people sang the Raul song as he was going off. I don't think we'd have been singing it if he'd scored and celebrated or anything. But then the interesting one was when Traore came on, because some people clapped, some people booed, and I was a clapper, but some people who were clapping were getting angry with the booers and vice versa. So where do you two stand on that?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously the Fulham fans aren't really going to give you much back, so there's not going to be that needle between the fans. So it doesn't really surprise me that fans are arguing over clapping and booing for a player. And bearing in mind, I mean, those two played for 5 years for us. So I mean, it's not like they were here for 5 minutes. So I mean, I think you've got to give the appreciation where it's due. I think being 4-1 up helps.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
to be honest.
Adama though, he was good. Obviously, he was with us for a long time, but he weren't a cult hero like Raul, was he? He was well loved, but he was also well hated. A lot of people didn't fancy Adama today because of his end product, but I probably wouldn't have sung or clapped Adama if I was there, if I'm honest. Raul, I'd have sang my heart out because he earned me a lot of money on YouTube back in the day just from putting Raul in my title. So I should thank him personally for that, the views he generated for us. But no, but on Raul, and while we're on the subjects, I mean, Cunha, the way he played, he's on the way. Cunha already is on the way to become one of my favourite ever Wolves players already. I mean, Raul's up there, but I think Cunha, the way he's performing on the day, and he stole the show, he's taking over Raul for me, even at an early stage. A bit to go yet, but what a talent.
I know a lot of clips were surfacing, weren't they, on TikTok and various other platforms of clipping up other podcasts that aren't Wolves podcasts, in fairness, but absolutely decimating Cunha, saying a complete waste of money. You could go and spend £50 million on much better. It just says it all, doesn't it, Jack? It's taken him a while to get used to it, but he had a brilliant season last season and he's carried it into this one.
No, it's a great pick, really, isn't it? Like, you've got to give the recruitment team some credit, but he's got the reason he's becoming this cult hero is he just has this sort of attitude and relationship which really, really resonates with the fans. Like scoring against Albion and then, his little celebration, things like that helps, and people remember that then, don't they? And it kind of sticks in. And you can say what you want about him and his performances, obviously superb at the weekend, but he always seems to try as well. And fans like that, even if it's not going right. There's been times this season where we've said, look, he doesn't seem to have his passing boots quite on, or whatever it might be. But like overall, you can never say that he's somebody who's gonna give up on anything. He'll keep going. So I think maybe going back to the thing about Traore, the reason Wolves fans probably don't hold him in the same regard as Jimenez or Cunha is because of that attitude. You remember the whole thing about him thinking he's better than the club, wanting to go to Barcelona. If he gets dispossessed and fouled, he's not as the quickest to get up and then run back or anything, is he? So I think that's the difference. But yeah, Cunha, cult hero, and probably just the way he is with the fans. I mean, you had literally first-hand experience of it, and I've seen other people as well. But you said he was a top bloke, even though you fanboyed over him a bit, didn't you?
Did he? Yeah, did you? I was embarrassing.
What did he say, Sam? Did he say anything to you?
He's just saying thank you. I mean, he's not brilliant at English, and obviously
neither you after 12 points.
That's what I mean. I don't know what language we were both speaking, but it certainly wasn't the one that I was meant to be.
Oh my God, Sam! Sorry, just to put in on the picture we put on Facebook, which got shitloads of interactions, by the way. One of the top comments, someone put, "Sam, don't wash that hand tonight and knock one out with it."
We'll do and have that.
I don't know why That's how well loved Cunha is.
I don't want to put it down on it again, but Stephen says, will Cunha still be a Wolves player at the end of January? I know that a lot of the top 6 clubs have been taking an interest. Obviously, Man United were the ones that are apparently committed, but Tottenham showing an interest as well. Do you think there's anything in that, Harry?
I think he'll stay in January, obviously, but if he does go in the summer, which I think he will, if he carries on playing like this, because his numbers, his goals and assists, his goal contributions, he's right up there, isn't he? And there was a stat that he scored the most away goals apart from Haaland or something like that. But we brought him for 50 million. So he's only 24, 25 years of age, like mid-20s. So if we do sell him, you'd want double that, wouldn't you? But what will really scare me is, what Fosun are like and Jeff, they'll probably let him go for 60 or something and undervalue him and just be like, yeah, like they do with Jota. And Neto one wasn't so bad, but I'm still a bit annoyed with the Jota one. But I'll be devastated if we don't get like 80 to 100 million for him, because he's young. He's got 3 years left on his deal, I think, something like that. And if he got injured now, like he did last year, we're just doomed, aren't we? Because he literally creates everything. He's involved in every goal, near enough. I know he was on the bench when Guedes scored, but every other goal, 2 goals and an assist for him. Just an outstanding player, and he's in peak form, and he's hit top form. Even with us struggling down the bottom, his numbers this season, his goals and assists are just top class. And he's one of the. I saw that Dave Azzopardi went on the overlap, didn't he? And he put a hot take saying he could get into any Premier League team at the moment, and all the other panel were like scoffing at him and laughing as if to go, "What?" I completely agree. I think at the moment he walks into any Premier League team the way he's playing at the moment.
100%. Steve says all 3 Brazilians were terrific. We clearly went to the same strip club, Steve. Let's move on to the next game, which is going to be Bournemouth. I didn't realise, Harry, that we've only played them 10 times, which was strange. We've won 4, they've won 4, and we've drawn near the 2. This is obviously the final fixture for November. We said that November would make a break. 7 points from a possible 9 so far. Now, normally we'd be saying if we'd lost a game, it would be typical Wolves to go and win whatever the next game is. We might be in a slightly different situation here. What are your thoughts going into this one?
Yeah, just quickly, obviously we'll talk about the game, but I just want to briefly talk about O'Neill, because there's a lot of people in the comments talking about Gary O'Neill. Mm-hmm. Now, for me, obviously we've drawn 2 and won 2 in the last 4. And yes, he's bided himself a lot more time. I still stick by, I think he should have gone after Brentford. I think if you think how fortunate he's got, Brighton away, Tommy Doyle, 4v1, he nicks it, we get the equaliser. That keeps him in the job. I think if we lose that game, there's a big chance he might have got sacked after that. Probably wouldn't have because you're not posting live, but I think the pressure would have been so big. The Crystal Palace performance was horrendous, but we somehow got away with a 2-2 draw. They could have won it at the end with a VAR, and he made a good triple sub in that game. Southampton, we had to beat Southampton. Like, had to win. Got the win, fair enough. A half-decent performance. And then he's accidentally, in my opinion, fell on a great formation at Fulham, which is a fantastic win, by the way. And brilliant pick from him. So you've got to give him credit. But still, for me, I still think he's lucky to be in a job. But I think the last 4 games, although we've done well, I think he's had quite a lot of luck go his way that's kept him in the job. And now you can't sack him, obviously. We're out the bottom 3, for God's sake. He's got us out the bottom 3. But I just hope going into this Bournemouth game, he don't do something bizarre and change it. He's got to stay with the winning team and play the same team, in my opinion. Don't know what's going on with Johnston. There's rumours that he's fell out with O'Neill because he was meant to be promised as the number 1, but obviously Jose Sarr is now number 1. Apparently Johnston's refusing to train. Don't know how true that is.
Where's that from? I'm not seeing that.
In terms of O'Neill, I think he's got quite lucky recently. But at the same time, I want to give him credit. Credit for the triple substitution against Crystal Palace to put us 2-1 up. But, we just got away with a draw. And credit for the team that he put together at Fulham. Whether it was good judgment or just luck, I don't know. But credit where credit's due. I think he should have gone. But now he's going to be here, isn't he? For the next few games at least.
What do you reckon, Jack? 'Cause, I mean, it's all very well, Harry or whoever calling out poor tactics or formations, and then you can't say he's lucky when it falls on one that he pulls off, surely.
I think you could also then say that he has been unlucky at other parts in the season, which I think is probably true, particularly, the run at the start, just with the fixtures in general, actually. I mean, that's not very lucky, but moments in games where we played really well and then it's just thrown it away. The one thing I will say, I was joining the Gary O'Neill out camp, as you know, particularly after Brentford, like Harry said, because it was just horrendous. But then, even then, the performances that followed most of the Brighton game and against Crystal Palace weren't great. But the one thing I will say, and the one thing I really, really noticed on Saturday, after the cameras had all turned off and your stream had ended, is that it seems that the players are really, really still playing for him.
Just about to say
that's the thing that's just came across, because that they were loving life. They're celebrating with him, and I honestly think that they like him and they want to do well for him. Whereas we've had other managers in the past where you can see straight away that the dressing room just ate him. Bruno Lage, for example. So I think there is something there in regards that he's still keeping the team spirit and, just the smiles on their faces. Like Rodrigo Gomez at the end was loving it, man. He was loving life. He just looked so happy. And then O'Neill was celebrating with the fans. And I honestly think that they are still playing for Gary O'Neill. So that gives me some hope, really. But I don't know. I think kind of with the way he's deserved now to at least see out, the December fixtures, which on paper are a lot easier than anything we've had so far this season. And it wouldn't surprise me if we win again on Saturday, and then suddenly we're looking, hang on, we're creeping up into lower mid-table here. So I know some people are just Gary O'Neill out now and that's it, and it's not going to change. However, I think he's clearly got something going on with the players there, which means, I think we need to give him a bit more time.
I think it's a great point, because I was looking for that quite a lot, especially when we went 1-0 down and around the 20-minute mark where Iwobi scored. And you look at the bench and they're all looking at him and going, okay, what we're doing next. And like Jack said, they're all happy. They're smiling. They're quite happy to get up, go warm up, come back, sit down. They're cheering on the rest of their teammates. And I think if you do sack him now, it's really difficult, because it would just be a terrible situation if you take a manager out and you've got players on board, because then you've got disharmony in the dressing room where you didn't have it before, and you're still in the position that you were in before. So it's a real tricky one. But Harry, for you, if Santi Bueno and Craig Dawson are pass fit for the weekend, are they on the bench or do they start?
They're on the bench for me. Just on O'Neill as well, quickly, I think he rubs up a lot of people the wrong way with his comments in his press conferences, which don't help. Like Jack said, people want him out still. I think that's a big reason why. But yeah, Santi and Dawson, it's mad to say. I never thought I'd be saying this, but yeah, I'd put him on the bench and play the same team. I want to keep. Nick's put in the comments about Bellegarde. You put thoughts on Bellegarde, looks bang average, can see why he gets in the starting 11. No, I had Bellegarde as my dark horse of the season, if you remember at the beginning of the season. I think he's one of those players which every manager seems to have, that they just love him. He must train hard all week. He does the dirty work a bit. He'll track back, even when he's playing like right midfield. And I thought he did all right at Fulham. He weren't outstanding. He was heavily involved in the Gomez goal. He laid it into Cunha before Cunha set up Gomez. And I particularly feel really sorry for Guedes. Obviously, he's done well this season, few goals in the cup, took his goal well when he come on. I don't see why. I know he comes on for Strand Larsen a lot of time, but I would like to see Guedes maybe start out on the right instead of Bellegarde, but I can't see that happening because it's either like Sarabia, if it's not Bellegarde, isn't it, who would probably come in. But Bellegarde, I understand why O'Neill plays him, and I think he's a bit of a teacher's pet, a bit of a manager's favourite. That's why he gets in. But I don't hate it. But as I've said a lot of times throughout this podcast, don't know if people disagree, I'd start the same team.
Jack, what about you? I know Hwang maybe possibly back in the mix as well as an option.
No, I'm all right, thanks. Just on Bellegarde, I think part of the reason he frustrates Wolves fans, I suppose one is like I don't really know what his actual best position is. I think he's always playing a little bit out of whatever his preferred position is, and he's clearly got a lot of pace, but he very rarely tries to beat his man with it. He just turns back quite a lot. And I think that's part of the reason is it frustrates Wolves fans a little bit when if you were going to have the likes of Guedes or Sarabia, I think they'd be a bit more forward thinking and Bellegarde isn't. But I can see why he comes on sometimes because, you know, he's got a lot of strength and he's got a lot of pace. So he can help you see out games. So I think he's, you know, just falling into that role a little bit of like, you know, a utility player and need to sort of come on and shore stuff up rather than being a starter. So, but I can see why he is frustrating at times because when you're watching it, it's like, you know, he's got the pace to try and beat a man here and he just doesn't even attempt to. And I think that's what winds people up. On the team, I mean, first question is, do we know who's going to be back? Like, is there any chance Dawson or Santi Breno will be back for this, or is it hypotheticals?
Hypotheticals, I think, at this stage. There's nothing I've seen per se.
I think keep the team very similar then, really, to be honest. I think that's the way you've got to do it, really, because everyone chipped in. You know, we won 4-1 away from home. So I know it was a bit ropey for the first half hour or so, but apart from that, it was brilliant. So I
saw Strand Larsen got a bit of stick for his performance, but he set up Guedes for the fourth, and I thought he wasn't amazing, don't get me wrong, but I think the runs he makes, he gives Cunha space, doesn't it? Like the way I think he does well with Cunha up there. Him and Cunha seem to do well together. But apart from that, Aït-Nouri got a bit of stick, didn't he, for the mistake? Yeah. For the Fulham goal. But yeah, everyone was brilliant, weren't they? Really, even I've slagged off Toti Gomez so much this season, but he probably had his best game this season. He was good against Southampton as well, to be fair to him. So yeah, interesting to see what he does. But I think O'Neill will be piss off a lot of people if he does change it. That's just my opinion on that.
Be interesting to see what happens. Right, okay, let's do a score prediction starting with Jack this time.
Oh, I can't see us losing the game again this season now. I'm buzzing. The only way is up. It's just amazing how quickly it turns. But you know, Bournemouth have had some good results this season, but they're within our sights in terms of the table, aren't they? And any team like that, we should be looking to beat at home. So I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves.
Harry?
I think this is a weird game. It's probably one of them you look at and you think we should win. But like Jack said, Bournemouth they've done well this season. They beat Man City at home, didn't they? I remember that one. They've had a few good results. I know they lost last time out against Brighton, I think it was. But I think the only game I can think of we've gone into as favourites this season is Southampton. And obviously we won that one. We're probably going to be favourites for this. It's not going to be easy. I've got my gut says it's going to be a draw, but I'm going to I'll go for the win. I don't think I can bring out my 4-1 this quick, can I? I mean, it's just happened.
I think it's possible.
I think I can bring out 4-1.
Yeah. I think it's possible.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be 4-1, but obviously I'll be backing it. I think we'll win 2-1. I'll go for a sensible one.
2-1 Wolves. I'm going to obviously go 2-1 Wolves. Let's run through the bets very, very quickly. Over 1.5 goals, 3 or more Wolves corners, 5 or more Bournemouth corners, and 10 or more booking points each is 6-5. Not brilliant. Bournemouth to win, both teams to score, each team 4+ corners, each team 20+ booking points, 8-1. Both teams to score in both halves, each team 2 or more corners in each half, and each team 20+ booking points is 40-1. That's the best value that I can find you at the moment. But there's not much to separate the two sides going into this one, to be fair.
I don't think 4-1 Wolves will be 100-1 this week because Fulham were quite big favourites, weren't they? So we will probably be around 40-1 for 4-1 Wolves if anyone wants to be a nutter and back it. See if we can
Do
get
you know what?
twice in a row.
Do you know what? You are a 4-1 connoisseur, Harry, because you're spot on.
Is it 40-1?
40-1, yeah. Wolves to win 2-1 is 17-2. What did you say, Jack?
I said 1-0.
1-0. That
Well,
would be
no,
10-1. 10-1.
Clean sheet is probably unlikely. But well, Harry, just put that 200 quid that you won on 4-1 at 40-1 and
roll it over.
As printing money.
Have you seen
Roll it over your fanny.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I know going into the game we had the same amount of goals as Fulham, and obviously they're having a good season. And I think now we scored the third amount of goals in the Prem this season.
Wow.
It just shows how many goals we've conceded to be 17th.
That's the difference.
We've got no problems going forward, have we? That's not been an issue all year. It's only Arsenal where we haven't scored, isn't it? But yeah, I thought that was an interesting stat. It just shows how bad we've been defensively, don't it? If we've scored that many goals and we're still down where we are.
We have scored 20 goals this season. Just got the table up, which is definitely the highest in. Well, Brentford have got 22, and then
in 11th.
So to answer your question, no, there's quite a lot. I've got more than 22.
What did I say? I got a bit excited.
Liverpool,
I said
Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham,
the top
Brentford
6
have all got more than us.
Yeah, we've got more than Fulham. I know that because
actually, and the other top 6 have. So yeah,
Fulham's got
there's quite a few.
Fulham, yeah.
The point is, we are scoring. We are scoring. We're up there with teams who've scored over 20 goals, of which it's mainly the ones at the very top. So
that's it. And I think pulling back that goal difference, because it was looking absolutely atrocious at one point, but we've got it back to -8 now, so much better. And I think for what it's worth, this season it could well come into it come the end of the season. So. Be very interested to see how that turns out. Well, look, best of luck if you are heading to Molyneux. But we do have a quiz. Harry is lovingly prepared. So I'm going to pass you on. Quizmaster.
I notice every week you forget we're having a quiz and you go to wrap up every time and have to remind you.
No.
Just before we get onto the quiz, what was your favourite Cunha goal at the Fulham game? Quickly, did you prefer the first one or did you prefer the top corner steam rat?
Top corner. Did
you? I preferred the first one.
Yeah, I mean, they were both very impressive for completely different reasons. But I thought, I think it was better than, was it the Southampton? Was it?
The Southampton one was class as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. See, I think it's slightly better than that. I think he was just
the weird thing. The weird thing about Cunha's first goal, and I don't know whether it's just me, but I think it was just it just one of those weird things. Given the fact we're at the opposite end of the pitch, I didn't think it got in. No. So I didn't celebrate straight away, and it was a bit more of like a muted celebration because I think the angle was just a bit weird. Like it took us a minute to work out. Hang on, has that gone in? Has it gone over? Has it hit the crossbar? Like so, definitely the one that to go 3-1 up.
Your end,
yeah.
To be fair,
just sorry, go. No, go.
I'm going to say Bayliss celebrated very, very loudly, and then just did the halfway up where you realise you're not supposed to, and then was like,
"Do they not go mad at you for doing that?" So
no,
you're technically in the home end.
Yeah, they're all right. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
You with their pocket watch. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just looking at goals now. The reason that obviously our goal difference is still so bad is we've let in 28 goals, which is 4 more than the team who's let in the second worst amount of goals, which is Southampton, which is terrible. That's terrible, isn't it? So, yeah.
So we've got Lamina now. Anyway, sorry, quiz.
Yes.
You can guess what the theme of the quiz is, can't you?
4-1.
Bournemouth. 4-1.
So I'll tell you what we'll do. Actually, go against each other. I was going to say work together, but go against each other. Right, I've got 4 games wrote down here, not including the Fulham 4-1, of when I've had money on it and it's come in over the last. Oh my god! Since. So I'll tell a lie. The last question, I didn't have money on it, but it's the game. Why I ended up doing the 4-1 bet a lot. So 4 games. What I want you to do, I want you to get the goal scorers. You take it in turns. I'll tell you the positions, and I'll tell you the era and the date. So obviously you can guess. I'll give you clues if it's too hard. But we'll start off with a simple one. So we're going to go to the 27th of the 12th. So this time last year, near enough. Against Brentford away. Wolves won 4-1, 2023. Start off with Sam. Can you remember the goal scorers? Start off.
Jack, do you want to team up against the comments section?
No, turn your comments off.
I'll turn the comments off. Actually, I'm going to struggle with this though.
Can I give you a clue before you start? So there was 3 goal scorers. 1 player scored 2. 2 players obviously scored 1. There's a striker, a midfield, and 2 midfielders who scored. Sam, start.
I'm going to Tommy Doyle.
Nope. Jack, to steal a point.
Lamina.
Yes, so 1 point for Jack. Back around to you, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
What did you say? Oh, me again.
Oh, yeah. Same game.
Cunha.
No. Well, he's only last year, lads. This is the easiest ones.
It was around Christmas, so I was drunk.
Yeah, it's 27.
How bad it's going to be. Did you say there's still a striker? He was playing.
Yeah, a striker got 2.
And it wasn't Cunha.
Who else we got? We got many, have we?
The comments are all getting it, by the way.
Well, of course they are. Yeah, they've got the phones, haven't they? They actually watch the games.
Come on.
I can't think of any bloody players. Who scored 2 at Brentford last season is the question, isn't it? And I can't remember.
How can you not remember this, lads? This is the easiest one. What are you going to do when we get to 2008 in a minute?
Well, just say Carl Court.
Right, I'll give you another clue. He's a striker, but he can play wide a bit. He might have been injured recently.
Sarabia.
Jack?
Oh, I don't know. Fucking Kalajic.
Oh, fucking Kalajic. Was he playing last December?
No.
Yeah,
oh my God, I might have to go. I'm going to have to give you some more clues. You two are awful. Sam, we'll go back round to you. We've got a midfielder and we've got a striker. The striker's just come back. He might have come on a bit late at the weekend.
Guedes.
Oh, for fuck's sake, lads, you two are awful. Back round to Jack. This could be a long quiz. Wangy Chan. 2-0 to Jack. We've got one more player to get. I'll give you another clue. We had a bit of a talk about him a minute ago. I got a comment up and we discussed him. Midfielder.
Oh, God.
Bellegarde. So, yeah, it was Lamina the first goal. Swang got 2. Bellegarde got the 4th, and I got my knob out in celebration. I didn't. 2-1 to Jack then. So the next game, where you've got to get the goal scorers, 23rd 11th, 2017, Wolves beat Leeds 4-1 at home. I backed this one. I had money on it. So 2017, it's the era of Nuno when we got promoted. A defender scored, a midfielder scored, and 2 other midfielders / strikers / wingers. Do you want to start, Sam? It's 2-1 to Jack after round 1.
It's me to start, isn't it? Surely I'll get a start.
Go on then, Jack.
Jota.
Jota is 1. 3-1 to Jack. Think of that season, Sam. Don't say Guedes. It's 2017.
Take Kalajic.
Yeah.
I will go for Neves.
No. Good guess, though. A lot of people in the comments said Neves. It's not. Jack?
2017. Bonatini.
Oh,
No. Good guess, though. He was on fire around that period. Sam?
I will.
Wingy strikers, if that makes sense. Like wide forwards. Who?
Costa.
Yes, Helder Costa got 1. 3-2. Jack? Wingy striker and then a defender.
A defender.
Torn for the defender, I'm trying to think.
So, I mean, Cody.
Do you want the position of the defender?
Willy Bolly.
No.
I'll give
you a clue on the defender.
I'll go Barry Douglas.
Yes, Barry Douglas. My clue was going to be he takes free kicks and he's left back. 3-3. Last one to get, Jack. Another wide forward from 2017. Absolute killer at the time that season. Loved him. So you've had Helder Costa, you've had Jota. Who was the other killer winger that year?
Did we have that many? Did we?
Yeah.
I think I know who it is.
It's amazing how much I forget.
Someone in the comments has got it.
Go on, Sam.
Sam, do you want to guess?
Is it Cavallero?
It is Ivan Cavallero. 4-3 to Sam. Sam stormed that round. 4-3. Next game, this one was when we was in League One. I had a 5 on this, I remember, but the odds were quite low. It was Swindon 1, Wolves 4, away at Swindon on a Tuesday night, the 11th of the 3rd, 2014. One of our winger wide forwards scored 2. A striker got 1, and another striker got another.
I know he got the 2, but... Oh, no, you should go first, mate.
All right, I'm going to go for James Henry.
No, not a bad guess, though. Jack?
So the 2 was Leon Clark.
No, but he did get one, so I'll give you the point. He got the last goal.
Damn it! Did
Yeah.
he? I thought he got. That
He
was,
got
that was the
last
worldie
one.
goal.
He won a
wasn't it?
sub
Okay.
and bagged a 4. So it's 4-4. Sam, another striker and a wing forward, winger.
Trying to think of Sacco.
Yes, well done. He got 2. You don't get 2 points though.
No, that's a shame.
1, 2, 3. Oh, that's 5. Jack, can you get the last one? Do you think? It's another striker from that year. Killer.
Lee Griffiths.
Oh, not a good bad guess, but no. Sam.
Winger.
Nah, striker.
Oh, striker.
Great player that year.
Oh, what's his New Adiko?
Yes, well done, Sam. 6-4 to Sam. Now we get onto the last game. This game is the reason why this phenomenon of me betting 4-1. I didn't go Bristol. The first time I ever won the bet was Bristol away in the Championship, but I've left that out. So on the 26th of January 2008, Wolves in the FA Cup 4th round, I went down on the club coaches, down to Watford. We beat Watford 4-1. So think Mick McCarthy era.
Did we get
Probably the season before we got promoted.
Yeah.
A striker scored 2, and 2 other strikers got the other. So think of strikers from the Mick McCarthy era. We'll start with whoever wants to go first. I can't remember what order in.
Can I go for 2008? Ebanks Blake.
Oh no.
No.
Before he arrived, I believe.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Just before we signed him that January.
January, didn't we? Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit McCarthy era. Michael Kitely.
No, they're all strikers who scored.
Okay. Can I go for an Andy Keogh?
Yes, Andy Keogh got 2 goals that day, believe it or not. And then the next 2 are both strikers. They are, think before the season we won the league, so they're like strikers, quite rogue. They're hard to get, so I might have to keep giving clues.
Okay. Kevin Kyle.
Ooh, not bad. That ain't a bad sort of person. That sort of person. Sam, do you want to try and guess?
Don't know if this might have been too late. No, I was going to say Jay Bothroyd, but I think that's too late.
Yes, well done.
Oh, is it Jay Bothroyd?
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And then the last one's very hard. I'll give you a clue. I think he was Irish.
I'll make a change with McCarthy.
Didn't feature much. Would come off the bench a lot.
Oh,
quite small.
Stephen Elliott.
Yes, Stephen Elliott. So Sam has absolutely caned it 10-4 in the end.
So my short-term memory is terrible.
Did quite well in the comments. Steve Dickens, Wolves FI, Neil. We're all getting some guesses. Some people guessing Kevin Doyle. That was a bit too early. But yeah, there we go. That was the reason why I do 4-1, because the coach driver, not the coach driver. You know, when you go on the club coach and they have an announcer.
Yeah.
And he did like quizzes and all that. It's this old fella. And they won 4-1. He got back on the coach, buzzing, like loving life. And I was like, why are you so happy? He said, I always bet 4-1 Wolves. And I stole it off him from that day. £5,000 in debt later, and I'm still trying to get
Yeah, living in the bin. Good. That's good. Enjoyed that. Thank you very much, Harry. Really testing my memory then. But it came out on top in the end. Excellent. Well, look, best of luck if you head into Molyneux the weekend. I feel like I've already said it because I forgot the quiz. But we'll say goodbye to the sober Harry Mansell.
Yeah, and I've also put Sam's hand on eBay after he shook Cunha's hand. So cheers, everyone. See you in a bit.
Yeah. And it's a goodbye from Jack Williams.
Bye.
And it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye.